That went on too fast. Um, I have not made a video in a long time. It's been a while. We got into our new apartment and it's wonderful, and I don't start my job until this coming Monday, so I have some time on my hand, and hopefully I can start making them more. And also, Eric, well, I'm using a MacBook right now, and I usually don't use a MacBook, so when it first came on, it did the like 1, 2, 3 thing, and I thought it was longer than 1, 2, 3. I thought it went to like 5, so I was like drinking coffee. That was awkward. I think Eric wants to make some videos with me. He had mentioned it because I don't know if you're friends with me on Facebook. Everything I talk about today, you're gonna be like, "Duh, I already know that," because I post for a lot of prayers about some things on Facebook. And excuse my eyes and things like that. I just woke up. My hair's a little greasier here. It actually doesn't look as bad as it usually does. I straightened it yesterday, so that helps. But I got sleepy eyes. And you can't really tell, but I'm like super burnt. I haven't been in the tanning bed in a long time, and here at the apartment complex place at the clubhouse, they have a tanning bed for free for residents. So I was like, yeah. So I was gonna go up in there and just get some color on me, and I'm completely burnt from like here to my toes. It's pretty bad. But I just want to talk about a couple things. I actually tried to make a video about some of this, and it was real short, and I tried to post it, and it only posted like 12 seconds of it, so I know some of you all like liked it and stuff, and actually Morgan messaged me and was like, nice 12-second video, and I was like, thank you. But I just want to talk about some things. It's kind of going to be a lot about me and like what's been going on with us, just because I want to testify about what like God's doing in my life, and I want to tell people about that. I hope not to be too long. But I've been getting up every morning and drinking my coffee and reading in Matthew every morning. I know it's only Wednesday. This is my third morning in the apartment. But yeah. So I started reading Matthew like about a week ago, and I'm just reading a chapter a morning. And yesterday I read chapter 8, and he was speaking about the leper. Well, let me just go ahead and tell you a little bit about what's been going on. Eric, about 3 months ago, I was working 3 months ago. I got a job at IHOP, and some of you all knew that. So I was a server at IHOP, and I was making pretty good money there. You make at least like 100 to 150 a day, which is good money, especially somewhere that doesn't serve alcohol, and I just didn't want to serve alcohol, so that was good money for a place. It's not like a restaurant that serves alcohol, because you make a lot of tips serving alcohol, but I've never done that, and I don't want to do that. Different subject. I was making pretty good money, but then they started, because I was known as a Christian girl there, I was very nice to everybody, and I was very, I don't want to say taken advantage of, but they knew that I was nice and things like that, and that I didn't want confrontation, because I don't like confrontation. And so the manager, they started, you keep your book, which means I'll just explain it for some people. I keep all the money you give me. Tips, if you pay with cash, I keep everything and give you like I'll bring in like $20, like a 10, a 5, and 5 ones. So like so if somebody is meals $10 and they give me a 20, I can give them a 10, and then I keep that 20, and then whatever they give me for a tip. So I type it in the computer so that the IHOP knows how much I owe them at the end of the day. Taking away the tips and all that stuff. So anyways, so go in each day and they tell you, okay, you owe me, blah, 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 and you give them that much money and you keep the rest for yourself. Well, they started screwing me over with that. They started telling me that I owed them, like, first it was like just like $5 more, and I got in the car and I was like, I don't think that's right. So I was like, well, if it's in the computer, it has to be right. So here and there, and I started talking to Eric about it. Of course, Eric was just like, that's not right. Eric was bad. And I was just like, it's not a big deal, whatever. And there was a couple times with some customer things that the manager should have taken care of, and he didn't. And some people like gypped me about some things, and then it was just a bunch of stuff. So, they did it a couple times, and then I was just kind of like, it's a pretty good job, blah blah. So I just kind of let it go, and I was off one day. I've been working there for about a month, and I was off one day, and they decided that they were gonna call me, and it was a different manager. It wasn't a manager that was usually there, because I was really close to the this main manager. Actually, all of them except for this one manager, because I didn't know her. And she calls me, and she says, she was there the night before, and she calls me and she says, "Hey Emily, you owe the store $20." And I was like, I was looking at everything, and I was like, well, I know of at least, I was on the phone with her, and I was like, I know of at least 3 people that gave me $10 tips yesterday. I said, I made round about $60 total, which is a really bad day. That was total. That was at the end of my day, I had $60 in my book. I gave the store 20, which left me with 40. I made 40 in tips, but I know I made more than that. And I was like, well, I have at least $30. I know I made at least $30 because I know of at least 3 people that gave me $10 tips. I said, so if I give you another 20, that means that I'm left with $20. I was like, so that doesn't make sense. She was like, look, I don't know what she said. But she was like, but if you don't bring it in now, we're going to write a police report. And I was like, are you joking me? Like, seriously. I said, you need to go in there and sit down and talk to those other managers and pretend like I'm stealing money from the store. Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said, go in there. So I went in there, and the head manager was sitting there, and he was like, oh, hey, Emily. And so I went in there, and there was a couple of them. She was in there, and so I laid my apron down, and then I laid the $20 down, and I walked out because it was just too much. And I don't like confrontation, so I didn't want to, like, go in there and, like, what is this? Go in there and, like, give a big spiel and be like, she did this me wrong and stuff like that. But see, the thing is, I had a lady at my church that works for Baptist East Medical. She's a regional manager, and we had just started talking about getting me a job, like a front desk job, which is pretty good money and good benefits, and like it'd be a full-time job with good like set hours, good what I need. Because Eric and I are going to go to Bible college, and we're not going to eventually, but our church is so small they can't really pay us a lot right now for being there and having a degree for it. So we thought this would be a really good job. And we had already been talking about that, so I was confident about going in there and not working at IHOP anymore. Well, it turns out that there was nothing open and things didn't work out for about 3 months, so I was out of a job for about 3 months. And we were still living with my parents, so you're probably like, Emily, please, I've gone through worse money situations. I know, and everything I tell you today, you're probably going to be like, Emily, I've had way worse situations. I've had way worse stuff that I needed from God, and you're talking about blah, blah, blah. I understand. I really do. And I understand that this is probably really silly to you, but it's not the point of, like, the bigness of the situation or anything like that. It's just the point that we were in this situation, and God brought us out of it. That's my only point, because it was big to our life. Well, my life. Eric was probably just like, but no, I mean, he was too. So, we lived in my parents' house until this past weekend. And Eric bringing home, he works full-time job, and he would work like weekends, a second job, and he was always working except for Sundays. And the thing is like we have like, he's like paying off my ring still, my engagement ring. And we have a car payment and car insurance and like different things. And they're like, when you're having one check come in, that's a lot. And then the thing is like, we like sometimes we'll go, because my parents like to eat out a lot. So we'll have to go to the store, and because sometimes, my mom won't go to the grocery that day or whatever because they're going to go out to eat. But we don't have money to go out to eat, so we'll go to the grocery store, but then we don't have money to go to the grocery store. So it's just like, there was like just some things where we'd have to literally go eat Spam every night. And I don't know if you've ever had Spam, but we love Spam. But it's Spam. So it was kind of tough, and it was really stressful on Eric because Eric's a stickler with money. Of course, if you know me, I'm just like, woo, money. No, but of course he's taught me a lot, and I'm a lot more responsible with money now that we had to budget and all that stuff. But so it was tough there for a while, and we were really praying about some things. And my parents actually helped us get this apartment, and we're gonna pay them back for the first month, or the first like prorate and things like that. And of course, my parents are wonderful. But we have, but we got here, and there were some things that we needed, like I don't know, a washer and dryer, no big deal. And we also needed pots and pans because we cook a lot. We don't really eat out a lot because we're used to eating Spam at night. And so I ended up getting the job. I'm working at a front desk doctor's office in LaGrange, so it's awesome because it's a great job. And I applied for like a bunch of jobs in between, like everywhere. And I did have Sam's Bakery call me. They were like the only place that called me back, but I didn't want to work at the bakery. But I was just trying to get any kind of job because we were struggling. So I got this job, which is wonderful. It was an answer to prayer, God providing for us. And so we got this nice apartment. We were able to get it because of the income I'll be bringing in. And but we like live and die off a washer and dryer. I know you're like, obviously, but no, like especially a dryer, because if Eric gets up in the morning, like, and we're getting ready for church, and his dress shirt's wrinkly and his dress pants are wrinkly, we don't iron. It goes straight into the dryer because like we have to continue getting ready. So like we use a dryer all the time, and I can't even really explain to you how Eric is about a washer. He like when he washes something, he can't just like wash his work clothes, like his work pants, because he needs that wash that night. Because he does not like to waste, like, he doesn't want to waste the load and the detergent. So he has to wash, like, even if things are clean, like he has to have a whole load of laundry in. And so he washes stuff all the time. Even if he has to like wash a pair of socks, he has to wash a whole load of laundry. So he's washing stuff all the time. So he really need, and obviously it's a washer and dryer. We need a washer and dryer. And, or else we'd be spending money that we don't have down at the washing, where we have to put coins in and stuff. And we also needed pots and pans, which is a pretty big thing if you're living on your own, to have pots and pans. So, so that kind of brings me down to what I want to talk about. You're like, oh, Emily, you're having it's like a great time, and things are going great, and you just got your apartment, and all you need is a washer dryer when you could go down there. Life's good. What are you talking about? And it is. Life is like wonderful. I agree. But when we moved in, Eric got really sick. It was just like something after something. Oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to get a washer. We don't have any money for a washer and dryer. That's like a big thing. Wait a minute, Eric's calling me. That's like a big thing. You can't just go without a washer and dryer. And again, I know you're going to be like, Emily, my problems are way bigger and I need God to answer my prayers. I'm with it. This is a minute thing and probably in my life, but it was big to me right now, and God answered it, so I just bear with me. Just put it in place what I'm talking about with something big, like you lost your big toe or something bigger. Just wheezed. So we're moving in, and we're thinking, there was some, maybe like, because I know I posted on Facebook about that we needed a washer and dryer, and we were willing to spend like, $100, or we didn't want to spend any. We wanted like somebody to just be giving some away, and I know that's not happening. But we were hoping that would happen, so we wouldn't have to spend any money on it because we don't have any money. Because I haven't started my job yet, and I haven't even started training yet. And I was supposed to start this week, but it got pushed back, so now I'm only going to have 3 days of training, so that's all I'm getting paid for in that first paycheck. So again, it's like thing after thing happening where we just like don't have money. I'm not saying we're just some poor scrubs, because if you saw my video, this is like a really nice apartment, and we love it, and it's wonderful. But so I start. So we're moving in. It was raining. We moved in this past Friday night, and if you remember, it was pouring rain, and Eric was moving in the rain and things like that. And Eric has bad, he's allergic to like long hair, like cats and long haired dogs and stuff. But if he gives me a golden doodle, doodles are allergic, like, good for people that are allergic. So, we're still working on Eric getting me a golden doodle. If you're friends with me on Facebook again, then you know that I'm obsessed with golden doodles. And so, golden doodles are good with people that are allergic to animals. Side note. And so he would, like, at our house, he would get get all, like, sniffy and stuff like that because of the cats sometimes. And so that happened to him once before where we were sitting down on the couch and Trevor Mason and Kayla Dolman and Ben Akers, they were all with us, and we were sitting there, and he started, like couldn't breathe, and it was really weird. We were like, oh, it's probably from the cats. So we ended up going to the store and getting him some Benadryl, and it knocked it out, and he was fine. And it was like freaked us all out. We were all going to seriously take him to the hospital because he couldn't breathe, and it was crazy. But so we get up here on Friday night, we get done moving, and then all of a sudden Eric starts doing it again. Like he's just like slowly started doing it, and then he was like, I'm fine. But see, the thing is, Eric doesn't have insurance, so long story, he's going to get insurance for his job this, like, soon, but he couldn't because he had to be there for, like, a month or something, or more than a month, or something like that to show that he was going to be there, blah, blah, blah. So, he was like, we're going to stick it out, and I'm like, Eric, it was getting really bad. So, Friday night, all day Saturday night, he was we were laying in bed, and he was just, it was terrible. I had to look up online, like, how to calm your breathing and all that stuff, and it was really, really bad. And I was like, Eric, are you sure? And we were, like, contemplating going to the hospital. I was like, are you sure you don't need to go to the hospital? And he was like, I don't think so. And I was texting my dad, and my dad's like, you're stupid, and you need to go to the hospital because if something happened to you, think about your family, and blah blah, because we all wanted him to go to the hospital, but he's stubborn and he wouldn't go to the hospital because it was that bad. It was really bad. So Sunday we get up, and I talked to my mom about that he got up and he was still really bad, and Mom was like, okay, well, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, we don't have any money, like, we have no money. And then Mom was like, well, is the money gonna matter if something happens to Eric? It's true. So the thing is Saturday before, my grandma handed me $60 to help with washer and dryer, to buy a washer and dryer off Craigslist or something. And she gave us $60. And then when we got to church, our Sunday school superintendent, guy that's a superintendent, handed my mom $20 for us to be able to go to the urgent care somewhere. So Mom was looking up places, and she was like, well, let's at least go to Walmart, like the little clinic thing in Walmart, because it's only $57 without insurance. So we were like, okay. So it was funny that my grandma randomly handed me $60. It was God's timing. So after church, we went, and Eric ended up having a real bad bronchitis and also an ear infection, which is random. She was like, is your ear hurting? So, yeah. And so then the medicine was also like $50, all of his prescription medicine. So, but we ended up, there was like, my grandpa, not my grandpa, but my grandma's husband also gave me some money. And it was funny just because, like, it added up that people were just handing us money. And it was God's timing for that. And, yeah, so he had bronchitis. And then Saturday night, you probably saw my post, Eric was putting the toaster away, and he raised up his head and nailed his head on the corner of the counter and gashed a big hole in his head. And it was just like one thing after another. Like, Eric got like deathly sick, and then like there was just a bunch of things, like, we don't have money. Like, that's always our thing, like, we don't have money. And we just like have bills that come out of it, and like things like that. And yeah. So I just made us really sound like poor scrubs. But anyways. So what I want to talk about is I tell you all of that because of this. You needed the story. In Matthew chapter 8, verse 2, I'll just read it. It says, and behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him, saying, Lord, if you will, can you make me clean? And Jesus stretched out his hands and touched him, saying, I will be clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, see that you say nothing to anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a proof to them. But I just want to talk about the first verse that I read. Verse 2, it says, and behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him. Us knowing that we're not going to have any money for a washer and dryer, and when we figured that we needed one, we knelt down on our knees and started praying for it. And I'll have you know that this Monday, my grandma called me and said, hey, I have a guy that is giving away his washer and dryer, and he said he'd give it to me for $50 and I'll pay for it. That's because of prayer and faithfulness to God, that God actually provided a free, nice washer and dryer, and they're right there in our utility room. Not hooked up yet because we had some trouble with that. And then the same day, Monday, Eric called me and said, hey, a guy just walked up to me at my work. He works at a factory place. And he said, the guy just walked up to me and asked me if I needed pots and pans. And Eric was like, yep, need pots and pans. I've been praying about that. So right there, Monday, we got a washer and dryer and pots and pans, both for free. And I really want to talk about this because it says, and behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him. And there's more to the verse, but just that part. Okay, a leper, leprosy is a skin disease. It's many skin diseases, actually, I think. Yeah, for several skin diseases. And the thing is, when Jesus walked by, Jesus probably saw him and knew that he needed to be cured. He had a physical skin disease. But also, I'm sure there was things inside of him, just like all of us, like our sinful nature, that he needed to be cleansed of as well. And it was really cool because I was reading this on Monday, and all this happened, and it said, and behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him. I'm a leper because I'm in need. I'm in need of Christ. I'm in need of salvation because I'm a sinful person, and I just need Christ. And inwardly, and also I needed a washer and dryer and pots and pans. And the thing is, I had to kneel down before God. I had to kneel down by my bed like I do every night and ask God, you have to provide this for us. Whether we don't have the money for it, there's no way. We can't do it. It's only going to be through you. God knew that I needed a washer and dryer, just like he knew the leper was sick and needed to be clean. God knew that, but the leper knelt before him and asked of him first, can you heal me? I knelt before, and so did Eric, knelt before God and asked, God, will you please help us with this washer and dryer and the pots and pans? And he did. He answered the prayer almost immediately. And that was just amazing to me, and that was just something that I really enjoyed reading, and that was really cool to me. And also, here it talks about chapter 9, verse 28. I took a picture of it, I think, and posted about it. It says, well, I'm going to skip halfway through. It says, do you believe that I'm able to do this? They said to him, yes, Lord. And then he touched his eyes, saying, according to your faith, let it be done. And their eyes were open. Talking about two blind men came to Jesus, and I'm going to hurry up. Came to Jesus and asked Jesus to heal him. And Jesus said, do you believe that I can do this? And they said, yes. And then Jesus healed them. The thing is, the big thing with this whole situation, of course I was reading this yesterday and thought of this, we had to first have faith that God would do anything for us in the first place. Because if I knelt down before him and I didn't believe that he was going to provide for us or that he could, then I don't even know if he would have answered my prayer, because I had to have faith first, just like these men. They had to say, yes, Lord, I believe that you can touch my eyes and make me see again. And when I knelt down to pray and ask of Jesus, I knelt down and then I said, yes, yeah, I believe that you're going to do this. I believe that you can, and I believe that you will. And so there were just some things I was reading, and they were just really applied to my life, and I was just thankful that God taught me that, you have to first believe that he can do these things. You have to believe that he can help with your struggle, that he can provide for you, whatever it is, that he can heal you when you're sick, or provide a washer and dryer for you, whatever it is. Like, you need baby food, or you just need emotional support right now. You have to first believe that God can even do that before He can answer that prayer. You have to believe in Him. Have faith. It's having faith. So that was a lot about me and what's going on with me, rather than I like a usual like Bible study that I like to do. Of course, I talk in all my videos, anyways. But it was just kind of like an update, and kind of just how God had used all these events to really bless us, even though it was kind of tough during it. So continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for Eric. And also, like I said, Eric is going to start wanting to make videos as well. And he might do some separate from me, and we might do some together. So I hope this helps you. And maybe, you're like I said, you're like, Emily, I have a bigger situation than you. And I understand that. Just apply that. I hope this can be somewhat of a help to you. But just go to Him and have faith in Him, and He will answer your prayer. I'm a testimony to that. So, right. Shoot me a message if you need me to pray about anything, or have something you want me to talk about or something, like always. Yeah. All right. Well, have a great day. All right. Bye, everybody.